The Pajarito Plateau is a volcanic plateau in central New Mexico. It's a part of the Jemez Mountains, bounded to the west of the Valles Caldera, one of America's supervolcanoes. To the east of the plateau is White Rock Canyon and the Rio Grande. For hundreds of years, Native American and Hispanic families eked out a living by working the land and raising livestock. In 1917, the Los Alamos Ranch School was founded by A.J. Connell on the Pajarito Plateau. The ranch school attracted young men from wealthy families from around the country. The school was isolated but well connected to the pueblos, surrounding communities, and the Anglo world. There were approximately 200 people, both students and staff, living at the ranch school. In the summer months, the ranch school had packed trips into the Jemez Wilderness and the Valle Grande. The trips lasted from 5 days to 3 weeks and were something that the boys from back east had never experienced. During its heyday, the ranch school was known nationally as an elite academy. The ranch school employees and their families were homesteaders from the Pajarito Plateau and were loyal to the school's founder, A.J. Connell. Their children became very close, sharing everything from food to clothes. All ranch school employees knew their assigned jobs and worked well with one another. Ray Gonzalez, his brother Victor on the burro, and Rubel Montoya helped their parents at the Los Alamos Ranch School. The idyllic way of life for the Los Alamos Ranch School would soon end with the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. By 1943, the federal government, through its powers of eminent domain, closed the school. The government seized its land and buildings to create a lab for the atomic bomb. Percival C. Keith was a chemical engineer at the Kellogg Corporation and a member of the planning board of the Office of Scientific Research and Development that oversaw the creation of the Manhattan Project. In order for the operation to be successful, the government needed an isolated area for its scientists to conduct experiments. Both of Keith's sons had attended the ranch school, so he was familiar with the area. The decision to create a nuclear laboratory at the Pajarito Plateau was spearheaded by Percival C. Keith. J. Robert Oppenheimer is known as the father of the atomic bomb. The theoretical physicist was the director for the Manhattan Project. He had a ranch in Cowles, near Pecos, New Mexico, and was familiar with the ranch school and the surrounding area. Oppenheimer was instrumental in choosing the area located within the plateau for a nuclear lab. The military checkpoint for the Manhattan Project was located at 109 East Palace Street in Santa Fe. All personnel, whether it was a nuclear physicist or administrative staff, had to sign in at the checkpoint in Santa Fe prior to being driven up to the Hill. Los Alamos, which is Spanish for the Cottonwoods, did not become a county until 1949. With the arrival of the Manhattan Project, new employment opportunities emerged. In this image, construction workers from northern New Mexico traveled to Los Alamos, sitting on benches in doghouses placed on flatbed trucks. The men waited at the security inspection gate to be let into the construction site. In less than a year, the small community of the Pajarito Plateau and the property of the ranch school had been transformed into the atomic city. Since World War II, the covert operations at the Los Alamos National Lab continue to be an accepted way of life in northern New Mexico. A parody of the lab was featured in the 1944 Fiesta de Santa Fe parade with an atomic outhouse that read, "What you see here, what you hear here, let it stay here when you leave here."